There's nothing that ruins an RV trip faster than a flooded basement or a psycho water pump cycling at 2 a.m. or heaven forbid, a backup in the business end of the rig. So today, we'll be cracking open the Grand Design Manual to the plumbing section so that never happens to you. We'll be tackling two separate worlds, your freshwater system, the stuff you use, and your wastewater system, the stuff that leaves. Understanding how they talk to each other is the secret to the stress-free trip. The manual is very clear. On page 91, before you even hit the road, you need to check for leaks. Look at your fittings and the water pump. The golden rule, at the end of every trip, completely drain your fresh water system. Leaving water sitting in those lines is just asking for a science project to grow in there. And finally, never drink water of unknown quality. Use a filter and be sure of your source, because trust me, mystery water is a gamble you don't want to take. This is the brains of your plumbing. To check your tank levels, you just got to press and hold one of these buttons right here, one at a time. This panel also houses your water pump switch right here. You push it right there to turn it on or off. The manual says to turn the pump off when you aren't using it. It saves your battery and prevents the pump from burping all night. You'll also find your water heater switches in here, one for gas and one for electric. You can see we have ours on electric right now. Now your water pump is going to provide you with about 45 pounds of pressure. It has a small filter screen on the inlet side that you got to clean every once in a while, or you'll wonder why your shower feels like a leaky faucet. And remember, when filling your fresh water tank, watch the overflow tubes underneath. It's normal for them to drip a little bit, but they say to never cap them. Also, always use a water pressure regulator rated for 40 pounds when hooked up to city water. It protects your internal O-rings from blowing out at the parks with the old faithful levels of water pressure. Now that we've got the water moving, we need to talk about the one thing that can actually be pretty dangerous if you don't respect it, the water heater. Here's a never rule, all right? Never operate your water heater while it's empty. If you do, you'll burn out the heating element instantly, and that is not covered by any warranty. And here's a critical safety tip. If you haven't used your rig in 2 weeks or better, hydrogen gas can build up in the tank, and that is extremely flammable. So before you use a lighter or any other electrical appliance, run the hot water heater for several minutes to vent that gas. Remember, no smoking while you do this, guys. Oh, before I close this, one other thing. If you're camping above 4,500 feet, you might need to adjust your settings on this little T&P valve right here, because the relief valve, it's normal for it to drip slightly while heating, but if it drips constantly, you've likely lost your air pocket at the top of the tank. So check your manual on how to reset that gap. It's an easy fix. In the shower, remember, these aren't like the showers at your home. If Rose turns on the kitchen sink while I'm in here, I'm going to feel a sudden blast of cold water. Now outside, you've got these exterior spray ports, and they are perfect for cleaning gear. But there's a pro tip. After turning the knobs off, squeeze the sprayer trigger to drain the pressure before you disconnect the hose. Otherwise, you're going to get soaked. Now, every season, you must sanitize your water system. The owner's manual recommends using a ratio of 1/4 cup of bleach per gallon of water for every 15-gallon tank capacity. We don't do that. We use this bleach-free method from Blue Technologies, and I've done a video on that, and you can see that if you look right up here. When it gets cold, you're going to have to winterize your camper. I know a lot of people talk about just blowing out the lines, but it only takes less than a teaspoon of water to get caught in the water pump to freeze and crack your water pump housing. So why take the chance? Our manual says on page 100 to only use this non-toxic pink RV antifreeze. And after draining the tanks, pump the pink stuff through every line until you see every faucet with the pink stuff coming out. Hey, and pro tip, wipe down your sinks and your toilet immediately afterwards, because that pink stuff can stain the surfaces like your toilets, the sinks, and the showers. All right, onto the business side of things. Right here in your owner's manual on page 101, it says, never travel with full waste tanks. It's heavy, it wastes fuels, and it can cause dangerous trailer sway. When using the toilet, water is your best friend. Run it for an extra 10 seconds after flushing to make sure everything clears. And use only RV grade paper, they say. I'm going to be honest with you, we don't follow that rule. But if the toilet valve gets sticky, they say to use a little petroleum jelly on it. I don't follow that rule either, but that is what's in your owner's manual. I prefer to use this silicone plumber's grease right here. It doesn't dry out the seals or anything, and it helps to lubricate them. Hey, when it's time to dump, I know the manual says black tank first, gray tank second. It's right here on the manual on page 101. But I found over the years of full-time living, if you'll pull the gray tank first and just let a little liquid out, you can test the sewer connection to make sure you don't have a leak before dealing with the nasty stuff. So let a little bit of the gray out, close it back, and then pull the black tank valve. But after you dump your black tank, go back behind that and dump your gray tank. That way, the soapy gray water cleans out your sewer hose. All right, and finally, let's talk about your black tank flush valve. Always use a dedicated hose like we have right here. Don't ever use your freshwater hose. And it's crucial that you ensure that your black tank gate valve is open before turning on the water. Flush it until the water runs clear. This keeps your sensors as accurate as can be, I guess, and prevents the dreaded poop pyramid. Well guys, that's a complete blueprint for your Grand Design reflection plumbing system. If you follow the steps in your manual, your system ought to last you for years. Oh hey, if this Real Talk helped you out, hit that like and subscribe button. Next up in the manual series, we're diving into the appliances and electronic systems. So as always, stay safe out there. We'll see you next week.